Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Judith. Today we're going to do another episode of Things Wrapped in Leaves. This one we're going to Greece. We're going to do dolmades. So I have about a pound of lean ground beef, a small to medium-ish onion, yellow onion, finely chopped, some finely chopped flat leaf parsley, and some dried oregano and dried mint. You could use, and you should probably use, fresh mint, which is the traditional way to do it, but my mint took over my garden a few years back, so I removed it. Now you're going to want your hands clean for this because this is a lot of hands-on. Just want to make sure everything gets mixed well. Knead it all in together. Okay, now that you've got all your herbs and onions mixed in there, we're going to add 2/3 of a cup of long grain rice. And mix those in, or mix that in. There we go. Out of the way. Okay, now that we got all that mixed up, we're going to get our jar of grape leaves. And this is a 500 ml jar. You may not need quite all of it, but it will come close. So you pull the grape leaves out gently because they are packed in there fairly tight and they're rolled up like cigars. So you want to unroll them gently and carefully because you don't want to tear them up. And depending on the size and condition of the leaves, once you get them out, I sometimes use 2 leaves just to make sure I have enough for coverage. Then you get fairly, about a tablespoon, and do it in a torpedo shape, and then roll that. Pull your leaves up over it, fold them in, and roll it over. These ones not quite the best for your first vision of it. Let's try. Here we go. Some bigger ones. Oh, that's a nice one. And you don't want to roll them too tight. And same as the cabbage rolls or anything else that's got raw rice in it. It will need room to expand because the rice is going to expand. Probably too much. You put them in your pot or your casserole seam side down. These can be cooked one of 2 ways, either in the oven or on the stove top. I do them on the stove top because that's how I learned. I learned from a lovely lady that I used to rent from when I was in university. And that's the way she always did them. So if your leaves have really hard stem bits, just cut that out because sometimes at the very end of the leaf where it would meet the stem, there's a really hard bit there. Cut that off. There's all our dolmades rolled up and in the pot. There are 2 layers of them. I'm just going to put the camera down now. I just held it up so you can see. Now what we're going to do is add our chicken stock and some lemon juice. Now both of these are optional. You could cook them in just water, but I have some lovely chicken stock here. So this is 2 cups of chicken stock. They're not quite covered, so we have another just under a cup. And if that's not enough, we're just going to add water. Okay. So now we have the juice of 1 lemon. I'm just going to strain it through my fingers because I know there's seeds in there. And one got in anyway. Come here, you. Not a whole disaster or anything if you do end up with seeds in, because you can pick them out after they're cooked. Now, because we do want them fairly well covered. They don't have to be completely covered. We're just going to add some water. Now, if you do have grape leaves left over, because they're not going to keep very well, and you probably don't have enough to do much with. Same as with cabbage rolls, just put them on the top. Especially if you're doing them in the oven. That will help keep everything from drying out. And then put a plate on top to weigh them down. Cover with a lid. And I'm going to do them on the stove, so I'm going to bring them to a lovely simmer and then let them cook for an hour until the rice is done. So there's our cooked dolmades. Now I'm just going to cut one so you can see. Typically, dolmades are served with an egg and lemon sauce. Personally, I prefer tzatziki. Look at how beautiful those are inside. Absolutely beautiful. So if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like on it. Please try the recipe. And I would love it if you would consider subscribing. Enjoy. Thank you.